Lori Wallach is on the line with us, the Executive Director of Global Trade Watch, author of The Rise and Fall of Fast Track Trade Authority, the website citizen.org/trade. Lori, welcome back to the program.
Hello.
Hi. Great to have you with us. What is the current status of this whole Fast Track TPP, the treaty that I call the Southern Hemisphere Asian Free Trade Agreement, SHAFTA? What's going on with this?
Well, unfortunately, the Obama administration is very keen to wrap it up in the next couple of months. The top trade negotiator testified to Congress last week that he hoped by the end of March he'd be able to announce a final deal, which would wrap up 5 years of closed-door negotiations with basically 500 corporate official U.S. trade advisors and Congress and the public out on 29 chapters, over 1,000 pages of agreement that would rewrite wide swaths of our domestic laws and make it easier for big corporations to offshore our jobs to countries like Vietnam with its 58 cents an hour wages, so that actually, as well as losing jobs, we'll see downward pressure on wages throughout our economy.
Do I have it right?
The antithesis of middle-class economics.
Yeah. Lori, do I have it right? We're talking with Lori Wallach of Global Trade Watch, citizen.org/trade. Do I have it right that if this treaty passes, one of the possible side effects will be massive deregulation of industry and banking in the United States, because no longer will they have to comply with the United States standards, but that individual transnational corporations can sue us as a country for passing laws or rules that might diminish the profitability of companies that want to pollute and things like that?
Yes, actually, this agreement, we know of all the things that are secret that we don't know about it. We know it includes the same foreign investor privileges that were in NAFTA, only much broader version of them. These are the rules that both incentivize offshoring of our jobs to lower wage countries, because the rules basically give all kinds of new privileges if you leave, ways to get compensation from the government you relocate to for just having to follow basic regulatory standards. And it gets you out of having to ever use a domestic court system, because there's special corporate tribunals where these foreign investors can have their case heard. And by the way, that's a boomerang effect. That could be done to us as well.
Right.
But also, those tribunals, separate from those tribunals' existence prioritizing leaving, so you get the benefit of that, those tribunals also mean that our U.S. laws could be attacked by foreign investors from the other TPP countries. And in a closed-door tribunal staffed by 3 private sector attorneys who rotate between suing governments for corporations and being the judges, we could be ordered to pay out of the U.S. Treasury billions of dollars in compensation. There is no outside appeal, and there is no limit on the amount that can be paid out. That system is called investor-state dispute resolution. Folks should just think about basically as like a corporate tribunal where your treasury gets raided, your future gets trashed, and all your domestic laws can get attacked. Right. That's at the heart of TPP, and we know that. So that would be enough to make us all want to make sure that our members of Congress do not support fast track. That's this crazy Nixon-era procedure that President Obama is now saying he wants to railroad the TPP through Congress. TPP has enough stuff to aggravate, irritate, and upset about half plus of the Congress, which is to say it cannot get through Congress in the sunshine and openness of normal procedure. Right. So this process, fast track, is like some kind of legislative luge run that just by sheer force of the process can ram an agreement like TPP through Congress, even though it would never get through there were it to be actually debated fully.
It's amazing. Lori, back in April of 1944, the New York Times asked then Vice President Henry Wallace, FDR's vice president, his second vice president, his third term, asked him to comment on the behavior of the American billionaire class, as it were. And in his op-ed in the New York Times, Vice President Wallace wrote, "They claim to be super patriots, but they would destroy every liberty guaranteed by the Constitution. They demand free enterprise, but they are the spokesman for monopoly and vested interest. Their final objective, toward which all their deceit is directed, is to capture political power so that, using the power of the state and the power of the market simultaneously, they may keep the working man in eternal subjection." Now, he was envisioning and complaining about and concerned about a time that I think we could say is probably here as a result of Citizens United, when billionaires could seize control of the political process and use the rule-making ability of the political process to promulgate rules that are beneficial to the billionaires. Doesn't TPP take us a whole universe of a step out of that or beyond that, where we're not even saying the billionaires get to own the politicians who make the rules? We're saying the politicians no longer can make the rules. The rules are being made by transnational corporations?
That's more or less the import of the TPP. It would require us to conform all of our domestic laws, regulations, and administrative procedures to the non-trade rules in this expansive 29-chapter pact. And then if we don't, either a direct corporation can sue us in one of these tribunals and demand taxpayer compensation, the investor-state system, right, or a government can sue us and say, hey, you have to change that banking law. Our government's fighting your government. You signed this treaty, and if you don't, until you do, we're going to hit you up with trade sanctions. Right. That basically is like a barrier to our trade. It's like an extra tax that's supposed to pressure us economically, right, to roll back our laws. And the bottom line of that is, instead of making our policies here and changing them if they don't work out, we would be super gluing into place this one version of special corporate privileges and limits on regulation, and you can't change a comma unless every single country involved, and there are 12 of them in this TPP, all agree. It's consensus. Right. So, for instance, there's language in there that would basically require us to import food from Malaysia and Vietnam, shrimp. They both send a lot of shrimp that just don't meet our standards. Under current law, a bunch of the stuff gets sent back. I mean, unfortunately, a bunch of the stuff is being farmed, the shrimp, in ponds of
toxic waste,
fertilized by ponds of human waste. Yeah. And there are antibiotics thrown in there we ban. And under these kind of rules, even though Congress says, that's not, you can't sell that here.
Amazing.
You would basically make it a trade challenge if you stuck to our rules.
Right. Lori, just a minute left. How do you respond to the administration's talking point that this is a way of cutting China, down to size a little bit, that we're making deals? This is a deal with everybody but China, and that will work to our benefit because China's eaten our lunch so badly.
Well, it's ridiculous because at the same time they're saying that, they've spent the last 3 years trying to get China to join the TPP. China has indicated it will join the TPP, and the administration has said, great, we want China to join the TPP.
Oh, geez.
Number one. Number two, those kind of sort of foreign policy arguments are always what gets raised with no merit, because none of what they have said for similar agreements in the past comes true, but it's what gets raised when they run out of economic arguments. And the data is compelling. These kind of trade agreements cost good jobs, push down our wages, and the public doesn't want them. So now they're trying to scare us with the boogeyman of China. Right. You know something? In past pacts, they've said over and over, the Central America Pact, CAFTA, if we don't do this, China's going to take over market share. Right. Central America is going to become unstable and have immigration waves.
And it hasn't happened. Lori, we're out of time, but thank you so much. Lori Wallach, citizen.org/trade. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
Great talking to you.